Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are sketching out a fascinating and honestly incredibly common biological trap that affects millions of adults, specifically those over the age of 60. We're going to map out the absolutely crucial number one breakfast mistake that might be silently sabotaging your energy, your brain, and your heart long before you even think about lunch. And I promise you, by the end of this explainer, you're going to have clear, actionable insights to completely transform your morning routine.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Have you ever finished a breakfast that totally hit the spot, feeling completely satisfied, only to find your stomach rumbling and feeling totally empty just a couple of hours later? It's so frustrating, right? You eat a meal at 8 a.m., but by 10 a.m., you are absolutely starving again. It literally feels like the food just vanished into thin air. Well, if you've experienced this, you are definitely not alone. And it's not just some weird quirk of your appetite. There is a very specific, underlying physiological reason this happens.
And it goes way beyond just feeling hungry. As we map out these symptoms on the board, you might recognize a few. Alongside that sudden emptiness, do you ever feel unexpectedly tired or sleepy right in the middle of your morning? Or maybe even feel a little shaky or jittery before lunchtime rolls around? Now, a lot of people will just shrug and assume, well, these symptoms are just a normal part of getting older. But they aren't. They actually point to a hidden blood sugar roller coaster that your body is desperately trying to manage.
So what is actually triggering this wild ride? The biggest mistake, and let's write this out in bold right here, is starting your day with mostly refined carbohydrates and very little protein. Millions of adults over 60 make this exact mistake every single morning without realizing the long-term metabolic damage it's causing. It seems like an innocent habit, but as you'll see, it forces your body to work in absolute overdrive.
Let's try out the usual suspects. We're talking about that giant bowl of sweet breakfast cereal. White toast slathered with jam, pastries, pancakes dripping with syrup, sugary yogurt, and those massive glasses of fruit juice. Now, there is no denying that these foods taste fantastic. I mean, they provide a wonderful quick hit of energy to wake you up. But because they lack sufficient protein, they are digested incredibly rapidly, setting up a really dangerous biological trap for the entire rest of your day.
Let's move to this sequence and literally connect the dots to see how this builds. Here's the exact biological cycle of a blood sugar crash. Step 1, you eat those refined carbs. Step 2, your body digests them super rapidly. Step 3, because of that rapid digestion, your blood sugar spikes dramatically. Step 4, your body panics. It floods your system with insulin to clear that sugar out of your blood. And finally, step 5, because of that massive insulin dump, your blood sugar crashes right back down. That crash, that's exactly why you feel tired, shaky, and craving more sugary foods by 10 a.m.
And this brilliantly illustrates the long-term stakes here. Over months and years of repeating this cycle, these frequent dramatic spikes can contribute to something called insulin resistance. Basically, this is when your body struggles to regulate blood sugar efficiently. It essentially becomes kind of numb to the insulin it's producing. For folks living with diabetes or prediabetes, these daily swings are even more significant and can be really damaging to your long-term health.
Now you might be wondering, why is this specifically the number one mistake after age 60? Well, it all comes down to the biology of aging. As we sketch this out, you'll see that our bodies naturally become a little less efficient at handling sugar as the years go by. Our muscles might not respond to insulin quite as well as they once did. Physical activity often drops a bit, sleep patterns shift, and certain medications we take can totally mess with our blood sugar too. Put all that together, and making smart breakfast choices becomes absolutely crucial.
But hey, here is the really good news. This is actually one of the easiest habits to change. The solution is remarkably straightforward. You just need to use protein, healthy fats, and fiber as your metabolic brakes. Instead of being on a roller coaster dropping at high speed, these macronutrients work together to literally apply the brakes, slowing everything down and giving you a much smoother, steadier ride. Let's zoom in specifically on the power of protein. When your breakfast includes a good source of protein, it fundamentally changes the whole picture. Digestion slows way down, it creates a much gentler rise in your blood sugar which stops that sharp spike in its tracks. It keeps you feeling full and satisfied so much longer, but perhaps most crucially for us old adults over 60, protein helps maintain your muscle mass. And since muscle acts like a giant sponge for glucose, getting that protein in is an absolute necessity for your morning routine.
Let's put this into perspective and draw a quick head-to-head comparison on the board. Breakfast number 1 over here, 2 large pastries and a big glass of orange juice. Now look at breakfast number 2. Plain Greek yogurt topped with berries and chopped nuts, 1 slice of whole grain toast, and a boiled egg. Both give you energy, but breakfast number 2 provides far more protein, way more fiber, and much less added sugar. For most people, this second option is a real game changer. It leads to perfectly steady energy and totally eliminates those mid-morning cravings.
Now, what's really interesting about this next slide is the hidden trap waiting for us in the grocery aisle, the low-fat myth. We've been conditioned for years to think low-fat automatically means healthy. But actually, scratch that. Many low-fat breakfast products literally just replace that missing fat with added sugar so they still taste good. If you don't read the ingredient list, those clever marketing claims can trick you right into an accidental sugar spike. So rule of thumb, always check that nutrition label.
And beyond just the ingredients, portion size absolutely matters. Even incredibly nutritious foods require sensible portion control. Let's look at oatmeal. Plain oats are an excellent, healthy choice, especially paired with nuts or seeds. But if you sketch out an oversized portion and then you top it with a mountain of brown sugar, honey, or syrup, you are going to quickly increase your total sugar intake and turn that gentle rolling hill of blood sugar into a steep cliff.
Okay, so what about fruit? Fruit is full of natural sugars, sure, but it also has vital vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Generally speaking, whole fruit is always a much better choice than fruit juice. Why? Because the whole fruit contains the fiber. As we just learned, that fiber acts as your metabolic brake, slowing down the sugar absorption. Fruit juice, on the other hand, is completely stripped of its fiber, so it digests rapidly and causes an immediate sugar spike.
Beyond just what goes on your plate, let's outline some holistic, better morning habits. First up, start your day with a large glass of water. A lot of times, mild dehydration can actually trick your brain and mimic the feeling of hunger or fatigue. Second, take a short walk after breakfast. It doesn't have to be a marathon. A simple, easy stroll helps your muscles use that glucose effectively. And third, if you really want to understand your own body, keep a 7-day food and glucose log. We all respond a bit differently, and logging can reveal some pretty incredible patterns.
To make this ridiculously easy for you, let's map out a simple breakfast blueprint right here. Think of it like building blocks. You start with a protein base, like scrambled eggs or plain Greek yogurt. Then you add your fiber and carbs, maybe some veggies and whole grain toast, or berries and chia seeds. Finally, you top it off with healthy fats like avocado or walnuts. Mixing and matching from these columns gives you endless, delicious options to completely stabilize your morning.
So the crucial point I want to leave you with, and I love how this is written out here, is this. Healthy aging isn't about chasing perfection. It's about building small habits that support your body every single day. You do not have to change everything overnight. Just replacing one high-sugar breakfast each day with a balanced meal from the blueprint we just sketched out can lead to lasting, meaningful benefits.
Remember, your breakfast isn't just your first meal. It is literally the foundation for the entire rest of your day. It sets your metabolic tone. And a quick reminder, especially if you're managing conditions like diabetes, kidney disease, or other specific medical needs, please share your food logs and observations with your healthcare provider or a registered dietitian. They are the experts who can help tailor these exact recommendations to what your unique body requires.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one really powerful question. Tomorrow morning, when you sit down for breakfast, ask yourself, does this meal include protein, fiber, and foods that will keep me feeling satisfied? Let's make that your new morning habit. I hope mapping all this out has empowered you to take total control of your mornings. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Head down to the comments and let me know. Which of those morning crash warning signs surprised you the most? Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next explainer.